Hello and welcome to this, the final program in the current series of Art Out of Nature. I'm Sherwood McCaskey. As always, I'm pleased that you have chosen to spend the next 30 minutes with my guest. In last week's program, we began right here at this point. We took you on an exciting journey. That journey ended as the modern-day explorers emerged from Explorer's Pool. It is at that point that Jason Lemon and Barry Allen continue the tour.
Take a look right over here. Here we can actually see a window glancing into some of the undeveloped areas on the inside. A few speleothems in here, but take a look at the crystal clear water here collecting from the dripping of the ceiling. As you can imagine how pure this water really is, our island of Barbados is 86% coral limestone. This rock acts as a natural filter for the rainfall and underground springs. In fact, we can actually boast about being in the top 15 countries of the world with some of the best water quality. You can actually drink this water if you wanted to. So take a look right over here, the engineered tunnel, but yet still we have significant growth here on the walls. Formations growing extremely fast in geological terms, 1.2 millimeters a year. This is extremely fast, and it happens right here in Harrison's Cave on the island of Barbados. We are really special, really unique, because it's not supposed to be happening this quickly. Our formations grow excessively fast to other caves across the world. Take a look right over here. The stream here, where Tony and Ole would have emerged after creeping and crawling for hours, following the stream that led to our discovery coming from the Harris Gully. But after they would have crawled through this tiny crawl space here, emerging on the discovery of a second stream, they would have been really excited. The discovery of a second stream meant there was a lot more cave system to explore. But also, there's a saying amongst cavers, and the saying goes, where two streams merge as one, the path ahead is likely to change, and they were really excited for what changes would have been awaiting them. So I want you to put yourself in their shoes. When two streams merge as one, the path ahead changes. Take a look. Water is a very powerful force, and you can just imagine the expression of Tony and Ole stepping foot in this chamber for the very first time. Despite our system was first known about in the early 1700s, Tony and Ole were the very first two to make it this far on the inside. The room today is called the Great Cathedral. We have a theme here going on. Right up here resembles a pastor or preacher with his hands clasped. We have the congregation all around, and take a look in the background. Those are the piped organs. Or, right now we are in the middle of a Rihanna concert. And that's her up there singing work, work, work to our fans.
Barry Allen continues the description of the lower Great Hall.
And remember, home to some of the oldest and largest stalactite and stalagmite formations that we would have seen. Now, when the guys got here, they didn't have these fancy LED bulbs like what we have. They just had like normal handheld lights and maybe a smart lamp. So you could actually imagine just finding this great room with that small light. You couldn't even see much in front of you. All right?
On the Eco-Adventure Tour, the modern-day adventurers are given a description of the special features found not only in the caverns, but also on the walls of the tunnels.
The one that actually grows off of the rock face like a shark's teeth, this is called flagstone. Now, as you guys would have seen in the video, right, Barbados is not volcanic. It was formed due to the colliding of two underwater plates, the Caribbean plate and the Atlantic plate. which means that at one point all of this was actually our underwater reef. If you don't believe me, take a look to the sides of the wall here, and you'll see some more of this as we continue through the cave. See huge chunks of the fossil coral here. All right, that was once our reef. You see some palm coral, and it's not only on this side. Take a look on the other side. You guys see huge chunks of coral all in the rock. All right? You guys are good so far? Yeah. Now, some people say that this looks like folded cloth or a pleated skirt. You guys see that? Yeah?
This one is called the drapery. This drapery is actually a lot older than most of the formations down here because it's only receiving water when we get heavy or constant rainfall. Almost looks like it's blowing in the wind.
All right, so as we continue to make our way down now,
right over here we have the altar, a really significant place on the inside because many believe they can actually see a lady here standing and her soon-to-be fiancé asking for her hand in marriage. But of course, he's been asking her to marry him for about 40,000 years and still no answer, but he's not giving up. The altar's been taken very seriously. We actually have gentlemen call ahead, make the reservation, give us that heads up. We're great at keeping secrets. We stop the tours right here, and that gentleman would get off the tram, go down on one knee, and profess his love to that special person.
All right, Kelly, come here. All right, now, why don't you stand here? Come here. Why don't you just take a look at her? You love her, right? 8 years in? Yeah. Good. Down on one knee, sir. Hold her hand. Now, take a look at the two of these and then take a look at the formations there. What do you guys see? You guys see it? Yeah, it looks like a guy on his knee proposing to his wife-to-be.
So proposals right here at the altar, and some of those couples actually come back and get married on the inside as well. Yes, you can get married on the inside of our cave. But when I look at the altar, this is my interpretation now. The tall one is me standing, and she's begging me to take her back.
Sometimes in the cave we have heavy rains and make the water comes in from the streams muddy and discolored. Right there in Baker's Cave, the water is always crystal clear. All right, so over here now, the formations that actually grow off of the wall, these formations are called flagstone. Some persons say it looks like a shark's teeth. All right, flagstone, some more rimstone dam, and take a look over in this area. All in this area covered with the flow stone. Some person says this looks like icing on a cake. You guys agree? Yeah, the beautiful flow stone all down within this area here. And this flow stone is just about 34 years old. And this only started to form when the sides of the wall were cut. And as you can see here, the water started to flow continuously down the wall. This water being super saturated with the calcite started this formation here. And in some areas, this formation is over 3 inches thick. One of the fastest growing formations within the cave. Now, let me see the hands of all those who want to know what a formation feels like. All right, good. Now, if I let you guys touch a formation, can you promise what happens in the cave stays in the cave?
No, we don't want to touch it. I promise.
Good. Good. Now, don't touch the sides of the wall, but feel free to touch the formation up there on the ceiling. And this is called drapery, so you guys can feel free to touch that one. Now, guys, how much you think one of the formations would weigh? A small formation, how much you think it would weigh?
All right, so take a look at one of the formations here that was damaged in the main excavation. Come a bit closer, look on the inside here. You can actually see the formation has growth rings almost like a tree. You can see the rings on the inside speaking to the age of the formation. One of these little micro rings will probably take about 1 year to form. In fact, it takes 120 years for 1 inch of formation to grow. So the formations don't also go around on the outer ring. They actually go along the shaft of the formation as well. And these formations and the study of speleology, you can actually tell whether patterns from thousands and thousands of years ago Where these rings become inconsistent, we know back then there was a drier period on the island, and where we can see almost one solid coloration, we know that's a heavy period of rainfall. So from the study of these rings and the study of these formations, we can actually map weather patterns from about the last 40,000 years, and we can come on the inside and study these formations and predict future weather patterns amongst the Caribbean as well. So it can all be taken from amongst the formations here on the inside.
And these were actually taken off so that some of the stalagmites, so that the scientists can actually test them, see how, by carbonating and other stuff, to see how old they are and do some other tests. Now, we have some scientists down here throughout the years, quite frequently, because Harrison's Cave is one of the last living caves in the world. When we say living, the formations are actually still growing. So there's a lot of water coming through the cave, and the formations are actually still growing, all right? And our formations are growing at a really, really fast rate. Normally throughout the world, a soda straw takes 120 years to grow a single inch, but ours are growing a lot faster because of the level of the calcium.
Barry Allen calls attention to Mirror Lake.
So this is the natural area where we should have gone. Take a look to the ceiling. You'll see these stalactites in the ceiling here. All right? So 2 to 4 feet of water, 6 to 8 feet of mud or silt. And this mud or silt actually reacts like quicksand. All right? Good. Kelly, come. Yeah. Bye, Kelly. This is where we get rid of you. He paid me. He was slipping. I'm just kidding. She's like, Mary! All right, guys. Now, and this is the reason why we actually had to cut this tunnel here, because of the silt here, which actually reacts like quicksand. All right, so we're going to make our way through. And take a look through the camera and tell me if you can see a face in the wall looking back at you. Yeah. You see it? You see it? You see a face right there in the wall looking back at you? Yeah, some people say it's cool. Some people say it's creepy. But you guys can be the judge. All right.
Welcome to Cascade Pool. And at this point, we're just around 160 feet below the surface. But our experience doesn't end here. Take a look to the far grounds. We actually navigate beyond this pool, following this water as our system expands even further. Tony and Ole would have experienced a further couple 100 feet beyond here, and they came upon a large sump, the water touching the ceiling, and that would have forced them to turn around. As you know, diving on the inside of a cave can be extremely dangerous. So I'm going to be taking you down to see that sump where Tony and Ole would have turned around, and we're going to be bypassing some really, really beautiful formations on the inside, delicate soda straws, millions of them, and a beautiful limestone dam that we call the Reef, which is absolutely worth it beyond this area.
Before doing so, they frolic in Cascade Pool. All muddy and full of excitement, the modern-day adventurers disappear from view and enjoyed all that which was spoken about by Jason. Suddenly, one by one, they re-emerge through this tunnel from the darkness.
Keep coming. Come down, come to me.
Watch your back.
Give me your hand. Right, give me. Walking up. Ready?
Push. Push.
Come on, Daddy, give me your hand.
Push.
You're welcome.
It's a boy.
Come to me, come to me. Made it.
Push. It's another boy.
Give me your hand. Darkness like that? No? Okay, good. All right, guys, so that's basically it for the tour. From here, we're just going to take a nice, cool walk up.
Having returned to the surface with a sense of what Ole Sorensen and Tony Mason experienced, the adventurers wash away the mud and silt, but certainly not the memories of their adventure.
I thought the tour was really awesome, seeing the stalactites, stalagmites, all the columns and the straws. Just, it's really cool to see how, natural formations can come together like that in a place that's just very pristine. And then the tour itself was really cool, just being involved as opposed to, just sitting and going through on a trolley. It was really great to just be able to crawl through and jump in the pools and just kind of experience it more than see it. So I really had a good time, and it was a fantastic one.
What about coming through the tunnel?
The tunnel was cool. I don't really have a fear of darkness, but it was kind of just interesting. You're feeling out for the person in front of you, so you don't just run headlong into them. And then just actually the darkness was just kind of compressing, but you just kind of keep moving forward and make sure you don't run into the guy in front of you and somebody doesn't run up into the back of you while you're going. So that was actually really cool. Thank you. Oh, absolutely. I would, if we're doing the 5-star system, 5 stars for me.
And I'm here with my sons, and we're on this cruise, and we decided to take an adventure. So I mentioned caving, crawling through, getting muddy and wet, and they were all for it, and it's met all expectations.
You expected what you saw.
Oh, yeah, so we figured it'd be fun, getting in the mud and crawling around, and it more than exceeded those.
What about coming through the tunnel?
Real dark. You're kind of hoping, when's this tunnel going to end? It just goes on and on and on. So,
Would you do it again?
oh, absolutely.
You should recommend it.
Oh, yes, I would recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, it was good. I recommend it to everyone. It was much more than I expected it to be. The crawling, the water was cool and refreshing, I must say. The mud, I enjoyed everything, crawling, like I said. And the tunnel reminded me of the Shawshank Redemption, the movie. It wasn't too bad. It was nice. I recommend it to everyone. It's worthwhile coming down here. I recommend it to everybody.
Okay, so the end. I made it. I survived. You might be surprised. I'm a little bit surprised too. It was awesome. I think everybody should do it. So the water and stuff was really cool, especially since in Barbados we don't really have freshwater bodies. So you're either used to swimming in the salty sea or swimming in the chlorine-filled pool. We don't really get to go swimming in fresh, cool water, and that part of it was amazing. There are actually these really deep pools, and 9 feet deep in some spots, so you can really have a proper swim. I think some of them are probably maybe about 20 meters or so wide, so you can swim for a good distance. And then after everything else, crawling through all of the really narrow little tunnel areas, climbing over the formations, going up waterfalls, down waterfalls, walking through the cave, and being able to see all the flowstone and the other things, we got to this part where they were talking about light. So they asked if anybody was afraid of the dark. So, of course we all said no. We're not children. Dark. Nobody's afraid of the dark. So we thought it was going to be something where, we'd turn off our little torches and they would turn off all the lights in the cave and give a little story about how, this is what it was like at the beginning when there was no electricity, and this is what the original explorers would have found. That is not what happened. So I don't really want to give you a spoiler, but we turned off all our torches and they turned around and there was this gaping black tunnel with water rushing out. Those dreams you have where you wake up drenched in cold sweat and you feel like somebody just walked over your grave? It was exactly like that, but it was literally happening right then. So he said, we're going to go through this tunnel. And we're thinking, he's joking. There's one of those tour guide things. They point at the tunnel and then we turn around and we go in the completely opposite direction. He was not joking. So we turned our lights off. When we looked down, all you could see was this black pit. The deep corners of hell. The only thing that was missing was the fire. Everything else was there. So we bent down and we started to crawl through this tunnel. Now you're thinking, okay, yeah, it's dark, but eventually my eyes will adjust and I'll be able to see something. You could see absolutely nothing. Could not see the hand in front of your face. You couldn't even see the dimensions of the tunnel. For all you knew, the next 2 meters that you crawl, you would fall into the abyss and plummet to your death. There was absolutely nothing that you could see. And you didn't know how long it was going to take before it ended, so you were just crawling and crawling and crawling. You could hear that there were people behind you. At some points, there was no light up ahead. But it really was an amazing experience. I would turn around and do it again right now. So I have to say, everybody should come down and do it. I don't know. This is probably one of the best kept secrets in Barbados. And I'm really hoping it doesn't stay secret for much longer. You need to come down, go on the tour. If it's your birthday, bring your friends down, have a little drink before, because there's no alcohol on the tour, unfortunately. You need to keep your wits about you. So if you get a drink, you have to do it at home or leave it in the car and have a drink after. You might need a drink after, to restore the sensibilities. But come and do it. I am telling you, you will not regret it.
He who has experienced it knows it very well. It is a kind of art that echoes our creative impulses. It can take decades and centuries to form. It is an art that cannot be bought nor sold. It is not found in galleries. For this art is made from nature itself. Art that makes us think in new ways about the beauty and wonder of our natural environment. As you have seen in preceding programs, we have this beautiful, breathtaking landscape right here in Barbados. You will gaze afresh. You will change the way in which you think of your environment, and you will change your view of natural art. The board of directors, the management and staff of Harrison's Cave, especially the tour guides and drivers, are eagerly waiting to welcome you to experience art out of nature at this, the 8th wonder of the modern world. I'm Sherwood McCaskey. Thank you so much for staying with me. It's goodbye for now.